Are you surprised that Brady's QBR was so low?
Not only am I shocked, but I am offended by it.
Oh, you're offended.
You know how I feel about Brady. You know how sick and tired I get of all the Brady hate out there operating just under the surface and sometimes way over the surface. The disrespect, the discrediting. And this was the essence of it, because I'm just not sure what Tom Brady did wrong last night. So, Shannon, before I look at the QBRs, and for those who don't get this, it's 0 to 100, and it's a formula. There's some subjectivity within the formula because it takes a human being to say that happened, that didn't happen. But it tells the whole story of how the quarterback played. So I'm going to, again, repeat what my friend, the great Jarrett Bell, wrote in USA Today. He called it an ugly win for the Buccaneers and said the Bucs had 4 turnovers, 11 penalties, high for them, and at least a half dozen drop passes. I didn't see that many, but I saw enough to know that QBR should take that into account. So I always try to guess, what will the QBRs be for the two quarterbacks? And I thought it was such a classic battle between the two quarterbacks that I thought both would be very high. I thought it was possible Dak would equal Brady, but I thought Brady might be a tick higher than Dak, just because I couldn't think of anything Brady did wrong in the game. So when I'm talking about high QBRs, it has to be around 90-ish.
Oh, I know they wouldn't either get to 90, not with an interception on their resume.
All right, but the 2 Brady interceptions, were they his fault?
No, but the QBR doesn't factor that in. They just see interceptions.
They can. They can subjectively factor in that you can disqualify the interception.
Right.
So what did we see in the interceptions?
Yeah.
We saw a little flip pass,
to Leonard Fournette.
And he breaks out of the backfield. And again, is it like the greatest throw ever? But it's just he's an NFL running back who catches a lot of balls.
Right.
That's just, it hits you in both hands. You got to catch it.
Yeah.
And you get a bad carom and it goes right to Trevon Diggs.
Right.
And you know the rest of the story. You give them an instant field goal. And then here's the Hail Mary at the end of the half. And he throws it with all his might, and he gets it to the back of the end zone, hoping Gronk can go up and get it. And
that's 60 yards. He threw that ball 60 yards.
60 yards. And the point
maybe
is,
a little further.
It's just a jump ball. And you hope Gronk goes up first, and he couldn't find it. And now the DBs are just, it's a tip drill, and they're tipping around, and all of a sudden, my team winds up with it. So I disqualify that interception also. So in the end, it's 4 touchdowns. And remember, a big play in the game is the throw to Godwin for 11 yards.
Right.
And for a second, I thought Godwin's going to score. And Kazee, my new safety from Atlanta, strips him.
Yep.
Well, so help me out. That could have been 5 touchdowns, right?
But you can't factor that in what could have been, Skip.
Okay, but I'm saying he did his part to throw 5 touchdown passes. So in the end, I'm saying, how could you say he had a 65 QBR? Where are you docking him? There's the
strip.
Yeah, and it was a huge play. And again, this is not like a sensational throw, but speaking of great throws, let's just look at the drops first, okay? So 2 of the key drops are, if we look at Antonio Brown, it's earlier in the game, and it's a big 3rd down. It's 3rd and 5 at the Dallas 40, and AB sort of sits down in the zone, and Brady finds him, and it just hits him right in the hands. Well, that's Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
He does not do that, okay? So my point is, that's a drop, and that's big yardage and a 3rd down conversion. So QBR might dock you because you're only 5 of 11 on 3rd downs. Well, that should have been 6 right there. And,
the one he had to Godwin was a 3rd down.
Let's go to Godwin. Let's go to Godwin. And what a sweet throw this is. I don't know that you can throw a better pass than that. And again, he got turned around a little bit, but it hits him in both hands. And Shannon Sharpe's going to catch that ball. I'm sorry, you're just going to, you might put that one in your back pocket. And so there are 2 huge drops, and that was 3rd and 10 at the Dallas 47. It's just a game changer. It's a game over kind of play because he might break it and score. Okay? So, and at that point, it's 28-26. So all of a sudden, you'd be up 35-26. That's pretty early in the fourth quarter. 12 minutes left, but they might just pour
Well,
it on.
the one definitely that would have probably put the game away is when Godwin fumbled on the 1 yard, fumbled the ball into the end zone.
Okay.
Because, Skip, that would have put them up 9.
Okay.
So now we're talking about now you got to get a touchdown and probably going to have to onside kick it in order to get it back.
Now, 2 more points, then I'm going to hand the ball to you. But the first Gronk touchdown pass, I know it was only 2 yards, but was Brady not nimble on this? They rolled him out.
Yeah.
It's got a little bootleg going, right? If we could see Brady roll out and throw it on the run, I thought he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. He looked pretty mobile for him.
He got a knee brace on, Skip.
Okay, all right. I
thought the knee was, he felt so comfortable he ain't going to read the knee.
All right, but is it a sleeve or a brace?
No, he got the brace. You see it on his left leg?
Is it the brace?
Yeah,
I
he
guess
got the
it
brace.
is. Okay, all right. That's a good point that you make. Because he said he was going to take it off and feel completely free.
No, Skip, he had it on too long.
Okay. I'm going to remind you, he had off-season knee. It's reconstructive surgery. It ruptured. He had a ruptured medial collateral ligament. Mm-hmm. So my point to you is, how many we see NBA players that they miss a big part of the next year? Like Kawhi, we're saying, is he going to come back by March or April? Well, Brady came all the way back, and it looks like he's moving pretty well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him high marks for that pass. And then how great, what are you doing?
I was just trying to, it's probably like 6 or 7 months.
Okay.
That he had.
Right,
I think it's March. Yeah, it's February, right?
Yes, he had it right after the parade.
The boat parade,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he said he got COVID right off the parade, so he probably had to quarantine for a while before he could have surgery.
Correct.
But it's a pretty quick turnaround as they go. Mm-hmm. And I know he's just a quarterback, but he looked like he was moving pretty well. Okay, then the second touchdown pass to Gronk. This is 6:28 left in the third quarter.
This is a Bear defense, Skip. They stretched it.
Okay, but you want to talk about rapport. You want to talk about veteran genius throw on both their parts, where they read it, saw it, and knew exactly what was happening. Donovan Wilson is going to blitz out of the slot. He's the safety.
Well, he's lined up head up Gronk. This is what we call a Bear stretch defense, Skip. The Chicago Bears made this famous, the 46 defense. So when they got Donovan Wilson lined up head up over Gronk, they got D-Law outside. Brady knows one of those guys is going to come, and one of those guys are going to cover Gronk. So what Gronk does, he turns like he's going to block D-Law. D-Law's going to get ready to come, and then he takes off.
Okay,
not Gronk.
Because he had to read it, too. But you trust that he's going to read it. And then look at the throw Brady makes off his back foot with the safety in his face, and he got knocked down on the play. Donovan Wilson knocked him down, as you can see. And to get enough juice on the ball to get it there off your back foot.
That's a zero coverage play. There's nobody in the middle field. Everybody's locked up.
Well, now it's up to DeMarcus Lawrence to run with Gronk, and he can't.
Plus, Skip, he's at a disadvantage because what? He's already lined up on the outside.
Okay.
So once Gronk fakes at him, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go blitz now. I'm a bull, Gronk.
Okay.
Gronk's up inside.
All right. So in the midst of all their penalties and everything that went wrong, finally the GOAT gets the ball back with 1:24 left, and he even has to overcome a Donovan Smith left tackle false start, which messed him up and made it first and 15.
Made him use the timeout.
And they had to use their timeout. So now, from that point on, that's 55 seconds left. He has no more timeouts.
Right.
And he goes to Gronk. Again, he goes to Old Faithful. And by the way, you realize Cameron Brate and O.J. Howard are really good, and they didn't even get in the game.
Yeah.
Right? Here's to Gronk for 6.
He can't run like he once could, Skip, but he still can catch the ball.
How trustable is he? This is pretty good run after catch, I got to tell you. And my safety took a hit on that one. So the point is, he goes to Gronk, and then obviously the next one's to Godwin, and then it's ball game.
Right.
But did you see what Brady did? Even more, a little more new genius twist to the plot, where at the end they're out of timeouts, but they have it 1st and 10 at the 18, but they need to kill some clock.
Right.
And so he says, I'm not going to hand it off. I'm not going to trust anybody else.
No.
I'm just going to stand in the shotgun, and I'm going to just throw it out of bounds 3 straight times because I got the ball in my hands.
Yeah, you don't want to, Skip. You don't want to take the chance of running the ball, and then everybody going to be slow getting off the pile, and you mess around and you run out of time.
So I'll hold it in my hands. I got the game in my hands because I know I can take a a beat,
Right.
you know, just take one count and throw it out of bounds. And I'm not even going to try to hit anybody.
No. You just throw it over his head,
and leave Suck Up with a 36-yard field goal.
And you know you got to throw it over his head, because if you throw it out of the back of the end zone, they're going to get you for intentional grounding.
They would.
And so now you can run another 10 seconds off the clock, and so you don't want that. So Brady's doing all the little nuanced things.
It's that master at work,
Right.
where you're just watching him at 44 just control the whole football game. And the clutchest player I've ever seen in any sport, he does it again. Now, what's not to like about that body of work over 4 quarters?
Yeah, man, you just told me, now you know how I feel about Tom Brady. I know how you feel about QBR. You still feel the same about it? Now, I've been trying to tell you for years. I say, Skip, this is some bull jive. Because we've seen guys play really well and get 65, 70s, and all of a sudden we see guys not play so well and they get 85. And I'm like, how? That's what I don't like about it, Skip. And they still don't. If you tell me the formula in which you use in order to come up with the numbers, then I'll have a better understanding. But because you're in a dark room and you're like, okay, yeah, I think this is this. I'm like, well, hold on, wait a minute. Now, Skip, I don't believe Brady should have had a 60. 62, 65, whatever.
65,
if he'd have had a low 70s, I could have dealt with that. Because
by the way, Dak was 74 to 65.
Right.
Go ahead.
Not because he did have 2 turnovers, Brady, and I don't believe, like I said, the second turnover, give me those all the time, because he's trying to make a play and he ain't checking it down, worried about his stats. He ain't worried about his QBR.
Nope.
He ain't worried about his completion percentage. But no, I've been told you that, Skip. Plus, he had 3 touchdowns and 5 red zone trips. He had set up the game-winning field goal. He had a fumble at the 1-yard line by Godwin. I believe he did, because Godwin dropped 2, AB dropped 1, Leonard Fournette dropped 1, and Mike Evans dropped 1. So that's at least 5, Skip, off the top of my head without even looking at it.
Okay. And finally, you want to talk about a throw? We haven't looked yet at the one to AB with 2:45 left in the half when AB got loose.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about a sweet throw that has some juice on it, but is just deadly accurate? How great is this?
Skip, you can't let a man take 5 hitches and stay.
Is that not on the dot?
Yeah,
It's just like a bingo throw.
Skip, you can't let the man take 5 hitches and climb the pocket and don't think somebody's going to be wide open. What the hell?
That's my man, Anthony Brown.
Run this, get this back. Watch how many hitches he take. 1, 2, and climb the pocket. Yeah, he's going to be open just like that.
And he deeped him. He sort of slow played him off the line. And then he was gone.
But Skip, so now maybe you'll start to come around on my side about this QBR and not put as much stock. After they gave it to old Brady, they stuck it to old Brady, and now you don't like it so much.
I'm now convinced that they have a different formula just for Brady. And it is severe. It is harsh. They're not grading on the curve. They're going to curve Brady. They're throwing him a big old curve ball.
I've been trying to tell you this, Skip. You ain't want to listen to me. But I needed them to stick it to old Brady for you to come around to my side and see what's going on.
65, seriously. If you said that was a 90, I'd say, I got you.
No, Skip, but I thought he would be in the 70s because of the 2 interceptions. That took away. Now, if he'd had 1 interception, okay, I thought he'd have been maybe even low, maybe 80. But with 2 interceptions and the way he played, 379, like I said, but he was going to be well over 400. Had Chris Godwin not dropped those balls, AB dropped that ball, he was going to be well over 400. But Skip, remember yesterday, I told you, I said, AB going to get 100 yards.
You said that.
I know AB going to get 100 yards.
I think you also said on this show yesterday, if memory serves, that Tom Brady is more likely to throw 3 interceptions than 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And he should have had 5 touchdowns, and he should have had no interceptions.
He should have, yeah. And he was, what was he, 4-2? I was like, dang.
Well, was there due on that? I'm going to let you off the hook.
No, it wasn't due. It wasn't due.
I'll let you off the hook,
but you know
I got enough.
Oh, you got enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.